Have you ever reacted strongly to something small and then later wondered, why did that affect me so much? Maybe a friend not texting back made you feel abandoned, or a small criticism felt like an attack. These reactions come from emotional triggers, and today I'll help you understand them step by step. Even celebrities, people we think have it all together, struggle with emotional triggers. But the good news? You can learn to manage them just like they did. By the end of this video, you'll have a simple, effective method to identify, understand, and control your emotional triggers so they no longer control you. First things first, what exactly is triggering you? Emotional triggers are intense reactions to situations that remind us of past experiences. Think of it like an old wound. When someone touches it, the pain feels fresh again. Take Selena Gomez, for example. She has openly spoken about how online hate and body shaming used to trigger deep insecurities from her past. Every negative comment would affect her, making her question herself. But once she identified what was triggering her, the need for external validation, she was able to take back control. Start keeping a trigger journal. Every time you feel a strong emotional reaction, anger, sadness, anxiety, write down what happened, how you felt, and what thoughts ran through your mind. Now that you've identified your triggers, let's dig deeper. Triggers are often rooted in past experiences, especially childhood or past relationships. Ask yourself these questions. When was the first time I felt this way? What does this remind me of? What belief do I hold about myself because of this? Let's talk about Oprah Winfrey. She has been open about her struggles with abandonment issues due to a tough childhood. She realized that every time someone distanced themselves, she felt unwanted. Once she understood where it came from, she was able to work through it rather than letting it control her. When you feel triggered, your first instinct might be to react instantly, maybe by lashing out, shutting down, or overthinking. But instead of reacting, pause. One simple trick? Use the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. When triggered, stop and name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and take 1 deep breath. This shifts your focus from an emotional reaction to the present moment. Remember when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars? That was an example of not pausing before reacting. If he had taken even a few seconds to breathe, he might have responded differently. That moment was a reminder of how powerful our triggers can be and why we must learn to control them. Triggers often come with negative self-talk. I'm not good enough. They don't care about me. I'll always be alone. But what if you challenge those thoughts? Reframing is the key. Instead of saying, they ignored my text, they don't care about me, say, maybe they're just busy and it's not about me at all. Demi Lovato has struggled with self-worth and has spoken about learning to reframe negative thoughts. Instead of believing she was not good enough, she started replacing it with, I am enough, just as I am. Start using affirmations like, I am worthy, regardless of what others do. My emotions do not control me. I control my emotions. Now that you've identified and reframed your triggers, let's build an emotional toolbox. Coping strategies help regulate your emotions before they spiral out of control. Try journaling. Write down your emotions instead of acting on them. Deep breathing slows down your reaction time. Meditation and exercise reduces stress. Talking to a friend or therapist helps gain perspective. Taylor Swift writes songs to process her emotions. When she feels triggered, she turns her feelings into lyrics instead of letting them consume her. That's a perfect example of using creativity as a coping strategy. The last step is setting boundaries with people who trigger you. For example, if someone constantly criticizes you, say, I appreciate feedback, but I don't accept disrespect. Rihanna is a queen of setting boundaries. She walked away from toxic relationships, unfollowed people who brought negativity, and prioritized her peace. And guess what? It worked. Practice saying no without over-explaining. Protecting your peace is your right. Emotional triggers don't have to control your life. By identifying, understanding, pausing, reframing, coping, and setting boundaries, you can take back your power. Which of these steps resonated with you the most? Comment below, and always remember, your inner journey shapes your outer world.